Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You've reached the Boho Info Show, and wow, you got a show for 2 for 1 this week, guys. I'm giving you the 2 for 1 week. Anyway, you probably saw on my Twitter that right now, live on C SPAN, they are trying to ask questions in their committees about this new judge, Jackson. And so they're going through the whole 9 yards of it. And I posted up my Twitter yesterday's uh, committee interview with her, and now today they've got the second one going on for day 2. Whether they have day 3, 4, or 5, I don't know. We'll cover it. We'll give you the links in Twitter so that you can look at it too. But I want you guys to look at it with fine detail and listen really critically to the verbatim of what she is saying and the styles of questions that they're going to ask her and what they're asking her. Okay, very critical. Okay, because we're going to be looking through a lot of this stuff. But before we get going on the program, we make no claims medically, legally, or otherwise. Take everything we say with a grain of salt. Maybe you come up with the same thing that we do and you find the same research that we do and come to the same conclusions. I don't know. That's on you. And everybody knows that we're just trying to bring awareness to different types of news and global events, and we talk about things which our global leaders should be talking out a lot of stuff. That way they'd resolve a lot of problems. But anyway, may the truth come to light on a lot of stuff. We'll see. So right now on this program, we're going to be talking about background on her and what's going on with her in her past to what's going on currently. And what we're going to be looking through is a lot of her past history and potential problems or downfalls or other issues that may be connected to corruption. Okay. So I'm going to teach you guys the same way as if you were going to maybe vote for somebody, and I don't care what your party is. Okay. But you have to look at who your potential people are that you're going to vote in. Since our politicians, and we're paying them millions of dollars to represent us, they're not doing a good job. So basically, we need to have all our money refunded to us because they don't do this type of research and background and stuff on her and find if there's any corruption connections. Here's the thing that our generation, new generation, or whatever coming up here needs to look at, or even the old generation, if they even know it, is we need to first look if there's any corruption connections to anyone. And if there is, the ties should be completely cut and not nominated for any seat for let alone a Supreme Court or any kind of nominee to any kind of political seat. Because this is how we're going to nip the cracking in the butt kind of thing for down the road. You know, it's like you have to learn from these really bad mistakes that we're going through right now and finding all this corruption now that we're going through, and you're hearing so much of it flood the gates that you have to kind of use that formula of finding all this stuff out to the future seats of people wanting to seat, you know, new people, whether they're in the Supreme Court, whether they're a politician, whether it's a local politician in your own town or state or anything else. And you know, right now I'm almost working at the speed of light trying to keep up with the information and give it to you guys to shed light on not only what's going on with all events in the world and news, but kind of like look for problematic situations for the future so that it won't happen again. Okay. So we're going to go over this particular judge, and I don't know her personally. I've never met her. This is an outside view of, you know, her for what she is. It might be pros and cons of everything. Okay. And we're going to look at it because I'm going to teach you the formula for the next time when you go to your midterm voting situation of whatever party you deal with, or main term, you know, in 4 years, but 2 terms and then 4 term, to do the same thing with your politicians, because we evidently not only have traitors for politicians representing us right now on the seats in Congress, okay, let alone senators, House, etc., and so forth, okay, but this will nip it in the butt if I can teach you guys how to nip the corruption in the butt before it gets started when they get into a political seat of any sort or a judicial seat of any sort, okay? So we're going to look at this first, and we're going to pros and cons everything. I've posted day 1, day 2 right now of all their congressional hearing kind of thing on what she's doing and all this stuff. But we're going to give you guys a little update in history on her, right? So are you guys with me? If you got, and by the way, if you guys have any questions, post it in my comment area, okay? And I'll periodically check throughout the show here on any questions, and I'll try to answer them the best I can. Also, too, I just before we get started, I need a lot of people to look at my YouTube videos because I need more people to listen to the videos in order for me to get my airtime up, in order for me to get monetary, stuff going on YouTube. So share my videos, replay them as many times as you want to play them. Look in my archives. The archives have tons of videos. Just go under video tab. There's tons of videos. I even tell you guys to look at old stuff. But I need more people to review them, look at them, and all that kind of thing. Anyway, and you guys know through my show, I always give you my 2 cents worth, my opinion. Anyway, so let's go into it. So evidently, Jackson here, Miss Jackson, Mrs. Jackson, I don't know if she's married, we'll find out here, is on the potential of becoming a federal judge. And by the way, you guys can take notes or rewind my video, whichever you want to do. But I have coffee. Hopefully you got coffee, so periodically I'll be taking a drink. But anyway, she was appointed by Joe Biden, okay? Now, let's see. We're going to talk about a lot of different things about her, okay? Now, you can look this up too. This is in Wikipedia. Just look up the whole name, which is, I'll highlight it here in blue. Okay, that's her name. So you can look at it too. But she was born in September of 1970. Now, here's the thing. She is as old as my sister. My sister is about 10 years younger than me. She died in 2010. My sister did. Okay. So this is a younger judge. Not real young, middle age. Okay. But she's a Virgo for those who watch astrology stuff. Okay. And let's see. She served as a federal judge supposedly on the courts of appeal in the District of Columbia in 2020 since 2021. She's currently nominated, of course, for the Supreme Court and awaiting confirmation in the Senate. Now, here's the thing. I hope anybody that is a Republican on the GOP or Republican Party or part of the Senate of the Republican Party hears my information, because there's some pros and cons that need to be weighed out. I'm not saying every judge is bad, but there is bad judges out there. Way back in the early 80s, I found a black list here in Florida proving so. And this can also happen nationwide as well as statewide and local. Okay. So that's why we're not ruling anything out. Now, it says here, let's see, she was born in Washington, D.C., but she was raised in Miami, Florida. Now, that's interesting. Miami has a huge, immigration area for Cubans, right? So think about geographical location, corruption connections to other countries, okay? Just saying. But then she attended Harvard University. Now, what other politicians that you know of attended Harvard? Presidential wise, Obama. I'll get to that in a minute. Now, I'm not saying Harvard's bad. I'm not saying Purdue's bad. I'm not saying any of these big, colleges are bad. But if the kettle is black, the kettle is black, right? If you did your research on big universities and their corruption ties to politics, let alone global leaders, you'll see everything that I saw, okay? But here, let's see. She also served as an editor on the Harvard Law Review. She began her legal career as 3 clerkships, and including one with the Supreme Court associate with Stephen Breyer. Prior elevation of an appellate court from 2013 to 2021, and served as a district judge for United States District Court for District of Columbia. Jackson also was vice chair of United States Sentencing Committee in 2010 to 2014, and she's been a member of the Harvard Board Overseers. Now, already she has a high status of basically telling people a yes or no, you can do that kind of thing. Okay, back in 2016. But Harvard Board Overseers. Now, if you go into that, and you'll see what other politicians like Obama and other people were part of that. Okay. Now, it's funny why Joe Biden would want her to be in, right? Why? Because the Democrats want her in. Why? Because she has the connections to who? And Obama and other things. Okay. Just follow what I'm saying. Okay. Like a what if, check it out, do your own research kind of thing, all that. Okay. Also, it confirms that she would be the first Black woman to sit on the Supreme Court. Now, I'm not against anybody, black, white, yellow, orange, purple, blue, whatever, of whatever racial background, of whatever country, of whatever funkiness of gender or whatever, okay? But it's like, I'm sorry, you're just, there's to a point where you get so much diarrhea of this Black movement that it makes you want to vomit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, here's my thing. Okay, let's back that one up. She would be the first Black woman. Okay, well, hey, great. Why don't we just say she's the first woman that happened to be Black? You notice how they emphasize and capitalize the word Black, like it's supposed to be important. Yeah, maybe it's a milestone. Great. But when was it where they put out there, oh, the first white woman took a seat on the Supreme Court? Or when was it the first Asian woman to be seated on the Supreme Court? You see what I'm saying? I mean, enough's enough. If we're all created equal, then you don't sit here and emphasize any particular race. You know what I mean? Just a little common sense there. I guess the judge didn't read that common sense book that's in the Library of Congress way up, in the presidential part there. Okay. Yeah, anyway, let's just go into it. So early life. Let's see. So we already told you all that stuff. Okay, so both her parents graduated the historical Black college and university. Well, here's the thing. Okay. Back in the 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, there was massive scholarships for the Blacks. I don't know if you guys remember that. And they could go to college either for free or, for low income and all this stuff. Well, okay, that's great. Now they're at a certain, statue where, okay, now all the, they're all at this level where the Blacks are like all supreme beings now or something. I don't know, but whatever it is. And, here we are, the poor white people, we're back in reverse. Well, I'm sorry. Now we need to do the same thing with the white people, and the Spanish people, Why don't they get the same thing? I'm just saying, fair is fair, right? But you see how the article, and this is from Wikipedia, so they're emphasizing certain things that gives you the clues, the codes, the everything, that you need to look at perspectives that our politicians don't look at. Okay. But anyway, her father was Johnny Brown, a lawyer who ultimately became the chief attorney of Miami-Dade School Board. Interesting, right? So father was attorney for Miami-Dade County School Board, and her mother, Ellery, served as a school principal at New World School of Arts. Now, isn't that an interesting name? New World School of Arts. Now, what's their agenda that they're trying to push right now? New World Order. Are you connecting the dots there? While she was in college, Jackson's uncle, Thomas Brown Jr., was sentenced to life in prison for nonviolent cocaine conviction. So even though it was a nonviolent cocaine situation of her uncle, it was still drugs. You follow me? And remember, I told you yesterday and all the past shows that I've ever done, drugs are a money laundering operation for the Democrats at all levels, from the lowest local thing to the highest Supreme Court thing, and everything in between. And everything, as I showed you proof, even on the south border, let alone in Ukraine. Do you connect the dots yet? And Biden Jr. connecting the dots. You following me? Mm-hmm. So right now, I've got a red flag on her. Why she should not be seating. Okay. Years later, let's see, persuaded law firm takes a, okay, let's see. Years later, Jackson persuaded a law firm to take his case pro bono. And here we go. President Barack Obama eventually commuted his sentence. See what I'm saying? See how the corruption follows? So there's definitely a corruption connection with Barack Obama with her uncle, which is part of the family, which eventually commuted his sentence, which means dissolved the sentencing. And then another one with another uncle, Kelvin Ross, and served as a Miami police chief. So Obama already washed her hands, her family ties, and her hands of the family ties of Mrs. Jackson there, of family ties with the uncle and also another uncle with Barack Obama. Now, that is a massive red flag, and she should not be seated on the Supreme Court because the ties connected to Obama. Anyone in the GOP, Republican Party, or Senate of the Republican Party better hear my warning on it. Do not seat her. Do not pass her. I haven't even gone through everything. So if this is just first in the first paragraph, that is a warning right there alone. Now, she grew up in Miami and did her graduation in 88 down there in Miami. And here's another interesting one. In her senior year, she won a national oratory title at National Catholic Forensic League Championship in New Orleans, in the second largest high school debate tournament in the United States. National Catholic Forensic League. Connections to what? Vatican. Yep. Did you connect the dots? After high school, Jackson studied the government at Harvard University, performed improv comedy and took class in drama. So there you go. She's already confirmed as an actor in drama. And then protest against students who displayed the Confederate flag. That is a massive, massive red flag. Right there is confirmation warning to the GOP, Republicans, and anyone else in the Senate or House of the Republicans. Do not seat her right there, just on that clause right there. She protested against the display of Confederate flags, which means she's against our freedom of speech and our disposition and freedom of opinion, as well as the same thing when it comes to expressing ourselves. That is confirmation. You Senate, GOP, anybody in the GOP, anybody in the Republican Party, better send that warning up. Do not seat her. Because here's what I'm about to say, and this is in my opinion only. But if just off these 2 paragraphs from what I'm seeing, she's going to strip United States citizens of their liberties, of their constitutional rights, their freedom of speech, and whatever else, because right here is enough proof. She's against the Constitution. Okay? Now, in 92, she writing a thesis on hand oppression, plea bargaining process, and coercion of criminal defendants. So plea bargaining, huh? So she knows how to make shady deals. See the critical wording? Plea bargaining process of coercion of criminal defendants. So she knows how to do shady deals. Remember I told you when you get a bad lawyer or a bad judge, they wash hands and they do shady deals? There you go. You got it in print right in front of you. All right, let's see. So she graduated in 96 as Juris Doctor from the Harvard situation. Now, in her career, let me see if I can pull anything out of there. Okay, in 2003 to 2005, she was Assistant Special Counsel of the United States Sentencing Commission. Okay, now you got to understand something. You have to listen to the second day under C-SPAN, I think it was, that I put in my Twitter when it came to questioning about her serving, I think it was on this United States Sentencing Commission. And she told in this committee that she gets her sentencing ideals from the, what was it? Let me think about that. From, I believe she said, not the House, not the Senate, but the other congressman, the Congress. She gets her ideals from Congress of how to sentence these high Supreme Court situations. I'm sorry, but did the whole United States just do a flip-flop? Because since when is it legally or even morally allowed that our congressman can sentence someone in a Supreme Court and give them, what their repercussions would be, whether it's, jail, prison, slap on the hand, washing each other's hands, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Since when? And don't tell me the politicians are all lawyers, because yeah, they are, but they're not in the highest, situation. They're not above the Supreme Court. They're below it. But if you listen to her interview on day 2, when it came to that part, you're going to have to listen to all this stuff very critically, verbatim. She's saying that. I'm sorry, but aren't you supposed to be a Supreme Court judge? You don't listen to the, Congress. You don't listen to anybody. You are the supreme being of the courts, right? Supposedly, right? I don't know. There's something weird about all this stuff. But anyway, we'll get into that later. That's a whole nother show on its own. Yeah. So anyway, that was interesting. But there's other histories in there. You guys can check it out. The U.S. Sentencing Commission. That's the one I wanted to get to, because in July 2023, 2009, Barack Obama nominated Jackson to become the vice chair of this. So you see the connections. Right here is a red flag. Anybody in the Republican Senate or House or GOP or anything Republican should not allow her to sit on the seat. She is wrong. Morally wrong, constitutionally wrong for the job. because she has connections to corruption. She can make shady deals. She knows how to coerce. I'm sorry. It is what it is. And then also she succeeded Horowitz, who has served in 2003, 2009. Let's see, sentencing commission, all this stuff. Okay. And let's see, during her time in commission, retroactively amended sentencing guidelines range to, this is a good one. This is another reason why you do not, this whole area, you guys need to read this whole area right here. I'm just going to blue it out. Okay. But right here, during her time of commission, she retroactive amendment of sentencing guidelines to reduce the guideline range for crack cocaine offenses. So this is another reason why Biden wants her in, so that his son that does crack cocaine offenses and connections to drug people will get reduced. Are you following me in the setup for the connection to corruption? And enacted the Drug -2 Amendment, which implemented the 2 offense level reduction for drug crimes. So anybody involved with drug crimes, she's automatically going to reduce their sentencing. I'm sorry, Republican Party, but this is a warning. Do not seat her. You thought drugs are running rampant through the south border. Now wait until she gets seated. They're going to come flying like it's water over the border. All right, let's go on. Now, here's something interesting. Here's a very interesting quote for her. It says, and I'm going to highlight this all in blue if I can, but it says here, during her time in district court, Jackson wrote multiple decisions of hers to her position of the Trump administration. In her order, Trump former White House counsel Donald McGahn, who complied with a legislative subpoena, she wrote, "Presidents are not kings." Okay? That's her quote. Presidents are not kings. But if she has a connection to the corruption, then it probably makes them kings. Think about that with Obama. Think about that with Biden and Biden's son. Okay? Jackson handed a number of challenges to executively actions to raise question on administrative law, so issuing ruling in several cases that gain particular political attention. Now, whether she holds that promise that presidents aren't kings and does the same thing to Biden and Biden's son, this can come back to her, where if she does not treat it as such, as the same thing, that presidents aren't kings to Biden and Biden's son, and arrest both of them, okay, or have them, situated that way legally, or whatever, then she basically is can be removed from office just on this quote area. Okay. Now the other thing, and of course this is all my opinion, guys, but here's the other thing. Blooming Law reported in the spring of 2021 that conservative activists were pointing to certain decisions by Jackson that had been reversed on appeal on potential blemish of her record. See, so that's going to be interesting. We got to check this one out. All right, hang on. Let me highlight all this one. Whoops, maybe. Hang on. All right. So this is from Bloomberg Law reported in spring 21 that conservative activists were pointing to certain decisions by Jackson that have been reversed on appeal with potential blemish on her record. Potential blemish. Now, they said potential, okay? In 2019, Jackson ruled that the provision of Trump's executive order conflicted with federal employees' rights to collective bargaining. Well, I'm sorry, no federal worker should be bargaining in the first place. It says here that her decision was reversed unanimously by the D.C. court. Another in 2019 decision involving a challenge to the Department of Homeland Security. The decision was expanded to agencies which were non-citizens that could be deported, and also reversed by D.C. court, and then Iran, president of Liberty Alliance for Justice, defended Jackson's record, saying that Jackson has written nearly 600 opinions and been averse less than 12 times. See, so how is it? Here's a lot of stuff going on here. First of all, she has a connection to Liberty Alliance for Justice, okay? And they're connected together because they're defending each other, right? And then she has written over 600 opinions and has been reversed less than 12 times. Well, you know what? Last I checked in this country, anybody can verbally tell their opinion under the Constitution, no matter if it's good, bad, or ugly. And evidently, only 12 of them have been reversed. Something weird on that one. But, you see what I'm saying? And here's the thing. She don't like the truth coming out. So she's saying that this was potential blemishes on her record. Well, I'm sorry. If, the kettle is black, the kettle's black. If the truth comes out, it is what it is. How do you cover? You don't cover the truth. Isn't that what your job is, being a supreme judge, is to bring it out? Something's not right there in Denver. Yeah. Are you seeing all the red flags now? Why not to seat this person? GOP, Republican Party, etc., so forth. Okay. Senate, do not pass her. I'll tell you that right now. There's so much overwhelming evidence, just even on this alone, on her facts of what's going on in her past. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. It's in black and white in front of your face. I'm not showing you any different. Either you guys want the little link here? I'll give you the link. Give me a minute. I'll put it in there. You want the link? I'll give you the link. I'll add it to this one. Oops, no, wait a minute. I'll put it in a new one. Give me a minute. I'll put the link in there. There. You want to see that? I'll put it right there for you guys. Proof is in the pudding in black and white. And I will put it in there right now for you guys to see. Hopefully it's coming up. Yep. All right. There you go. So this is what I'm looking at. There's enough proof just in this alone. And there's also hyperlinks in the whole thing to back up the information of why not to seat her in the in her seat. Okay. If you put her in, you'll kill the United States, basically, under the Constitution, because she's a constitutional killer. Because of the corruption ties. All right. Let's see what else here. That's my opinion. Also here, let's see. Okay, so she did several different rulings, 2013, 2014, 2012. Here's one that's interesting to me. DPUM versus the Department of Health and Human Services in 2014, where Jackson ruled for the Food and Drug Administration that had violated the Administrative Procedure Act when it failed to grant pharmaceutical companies DPUM market exclusive for orphaned drug Grassley. Jackson concluded the Orphan Drug Act required the FDA to grant Grassley exclusively. So, she's here's the other thing, is she going to be part of the corruption ties of the FDA and the WOW and all that stuff with a COVID? See what I'm saying? These are high-end questions that common citizens could do the job better in their Senate committee right now that's interviewing her for the seat to ask her these critical questions, not the crap about what they're doing right now. Okay? I mean, I want to ask her critical questions on corruption, political corruption, high-end corruption, and how she would handle it. Those are the type of questions. See? Corruption to Graham, that's sitting on that committee right now, and all the other Democrats and other people that are in there. You know what I mean? I mean, here's the thing. I'd ask her to say, well, if I did, as an example, some kind of corruption and it came out in your court, would you do anything about it? That's the kind of posing question they need to ask her. See? How would she handle a high status political corruption connection or political corruption proof? Not this other crap about, Roe versus Wade or any other stuff, Also here in 2015, Department of Correction violation right of deaf inmate under Americans Disability Act was jailed because he failed to provide inmate reasonable accommodations, excess need to accommodations during the detention of 2012, willful blindness regarding Pierce, half-heart attempt, random auxiliary aids, and only after specific requests fell short of what the laws require. So again, evidently she did ruling on that and the law fell short on it, and I don't know, something happened there. Federal employees. So she's dealing with even labor unions. Here's interesting. Jackson concluded that executive order violated rights of federal employees to do collective bargaining, guaranteed federal labor management relations status, and 2019 had wrongly asserted jurisdiction, reversing and vacated her decision. So, all right, let's see. Whoops. Let's go back down there. Hang on. All right, let's go back here. So we're still talking about this lady that's trying to get into the Senate or into the Supreme Court seat. All right, so let's look at, we already did that, their appeals. Let's see. All right, now here's another one, red flag. In January 2022, let's see, it says here, however, the Times said that Jackson's early ruling compounded these liberty-leaning judges, including opinions blocking various Trump administration actions. Additionally, reviewed 500 of her judicial opinions indicated that she would be likely as a liberal as Justice Stephen Breyer, the judge that she nominated, replaced. And it says here, according to NBC News, that Jackson fits well with the Democratic Party and the progressive movement agenda. So she's a progressive. There's proof right there, a red flag, why not to put her in the seat. I mean, so far we've come, 10 of them so far? Red flags on her, not to put her in the Supreme Court seat. Right here, Jackson fits well with the Democratic Party and progressive movement agenda. So she's a progressive. And also Jackson it says here, by Politico reported that Jackson is popular with the liberal legal activists looking to replace Jar and all this stuff. And it says here, Jackson, right here, Politico. Here's the quote. You can look it up. I've given you guys a live link, so you can look it up with me. But it says Politico reported that Jackson is popular with liberal legal activist looking to replace Breyer and a justice willing to engage in the ideology of combating with the court's conservatives. So she's a fighter against conservatives, people. This is a citizen's alert now, a citizen's red flag on her. She's against conservatives. Okay. She's against conservatives and anyone that's like a Republican. Because why? Here, it's under legal, if you want to know the area, right here. This whole area right here. Legal philosophy. Okay. In the link I provided underneath there for you guys. Look in that. She's against Republicans because she's a Democratic Party progressive supporter. And that means that she's against all Republicans and she's against conservatives of Republican Party. So that is a massive black flag for the GOP and the Republican Party at all costs. Do not seat her on the Supreme Court. Block it all the way. And if it tries to get overruled by Biden, then you impeach Biden for the connection of corruption for it, connected to it. Are you following me? Okay. I mean, you guys can go on and on, but I'm not trying to make this a 1-hour show, but there is enough in here. I'm only like maybe 3 paragraphs until I'm completely done with the whole thing. But you guys can go through the last 3 major paragraphs, which is, or 2 paragraphs, which is nomination for the Supreme Court of the United States, which is blah, blah, blah. And then affiliations. So, and, you know, the affiliations are kind of like the connecting the dots to the corruption situation. Look at it that way. Okay. So it is what it is. And then let's see, she's got her personal life. Let's see here. Through her marriage, she's related to a former Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan. I didn't know that, but that's something new there for me. And she has 2 daughters. So anyway, there's not much, but that was the juiciest part for her. And I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Let me see if you guys can see that. Can you guys see that? Nope, not that. Oops. Hang on. Let me move it over. Maybe you saw that. I don't know. Anyway, can you guys see that good? I don't know. There. All right. So anyway, this is the reason why not to seat her. Do not seat her. This is a black flag. At all costs, block it on the Supreme Court level for her being seated for the House or from the House or Senate Republicans. Do not do it. Okay. Anyway, this is Boho, the info. We're out.